Housing Justice Center is working with the Frogtown Neighborhood Association, Hope Communities, Model Cities, Historic St. Paul. I'm probably forgetting some of the partners as part of this project called the Sherburne Collaborative. And it was a publicly owned building that ultimately was a vacant boarded building that is being transformed into a community ownership model sixplex designed specifically to be deeply affordable to large families. So really focused on that 30% AMI, focused on ultimately getting into some form of community ownership model. It was I think, a hard path, and it's still a path we're walking, but the collaborative was given preliminary developer status. It is not historic rehab in the sense of it's not going to be like on the historic register, but it is recognizing the importance of this building both as a really beautiful old building that has value to the community, but also its role in the changes that have shaped the Frogtown neighborhood as different waves of people have moved in and out of the community. It becomes a really important starting place, and most recently home to a lot of Karen immigrants who needed larger scale family housing. And so, that strikes me as the kind of opportunity as we look at preserving things in our existing communities.
So what I would like to see is more of what happened with the Crown Plaza in Bloomington. The owner of Crown Plaza is redeveloping it into micro units. That's not going to work for immigrant families, refugee families, but the model could work. So taking a piece of property, converting it into an apartment building. And that way historic preservation, I don't know if it's historic, if it's the Crown Plaza on a 494 strip, but hey, if 1941 duplexes are, why can't the Crown Plaza be? Well, whatever tools need to be leveraged, I don't even care what tools they are. Direct allocations, housing tax credits, historic tax credits. The ROI on that is so high because the building's already there. You're not spending, it costs $30 million to build an 80 unit affordable housing development. Like what? $30 million for 80 units? That's not gonna, so taking all these units, I mean, and Bloomington and Richfield, according to Nadia, is where the Afghan diaspora wants to land and lands. And so that is where the best opportunity is for the hotels. So again, hotels are all about money. They are bleeding money. If they can stop bleeding money to their investors and we can get a housing solution, like it seems like a win-win to me, as long as you can develop it. So immediately house them, work on rehab, make 2 and 3 bedroom units out of these hotels. They're on transit. They're in the neighborhood allegedly that the Afghan diaspora wants to be in. And so I'm like, let's get that done. So that's the big idea. It's not rocket science. We did it with during the COVID, the county rented space from hotels for vulnerable populations exposed to COVID. So we could look and see how did that work? I don't, but that's to me the only option right now. And then to fund all those projects on the list that are in queue, whether it's through tax credits, whether co-ops is the way to really decommoditize housing. And that's, so Margaret, I want to augment that. It's super difficult because it's not super well used and really common, but that is the future to me. But in the meantime, like, let's make these hotels a place that is dignified housing, has larger units, and has we're building community into it too. So,
and Bloomington's the second suburb I was displaced from. They do have 9,000 hotel rooms, but they changed the zoning right out from under one that Hennepin County wanted to buy, and they've written statutes that the homeless who were housed in 3 hotels at 200 or 300 people each with services were they had to leave by December, which is now, because COVID is over. So there's a lot of headway to be gained in Bloomington, but I would love to help with that because I helped write the Bloomington Opportunity Housing Ordinance there. And that ordinance everyone here should read because it does a lot of myth busting. In other words, oh, wait till the market evens out. No, there's not just one market. There's a lot of different markets.
Some of the sort of like detailed disagreements are
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I think fundamentally the point of agreement is all of the money, don't care what flavor it is. Having some specific focus on deep affordability, making sure communities are engaged in determining what their housing future looks like. And then I would add in there, you know, we have a very strong rights and justice focus as well too. So those questions about not just that it exists, but that it is real for the people who need it.
If you're interested in learning more about the antithesis of Century Plaza, or whatever the name of the Richfield project was, we have a sister project in Brooklyn Park, exact same developer, same size, same number of units, that we worked with a nonprofit housing developer to preserve and to convert to 60% AMI housing instead of market rate. It was market rate, just like Richfield's project. So if you want to do like a juxtaposition, 10 years ago, Brooklyn Park also bought and tore down another sister property. So if you want to compare the three different ways of dealing with that kind of housing, several hundred one bedrooms, and so, you know, that might be interesting. But we do have an example of how it didn't get gentrified and how it did get preserved, at least at that 60% level.
Reminds me that we want to talk about solutions and challenges, and not every idea is perfect and able to replicate everywhere. And so it's all about the nuance, as well as, you know, different perspectives on how things work, because solutions aren't simple. So, and everything's complex and interconnected. So the more we can get smarter about collaboratively having conversations like this, the better. So that's kind of what we're aiming to do.